you would think this part of the story is the worst part of the story. But unfortunately, when you from the wrong tracks, wrong side of the tracks and beliefs, the story gets even worse.
Hmm.
It gets even worse. So, man, so after he was confirmed gone, passed away, this is when the real problems start. You know, the first thing is the people in the corridor and the hospital, they needed to get paid. The family members got to come up with money to try to, arrange a burial. And at that time, the burial was like $5,000 beliefs. So let me put this in perspective for you. $5,000 beliefs was so astronomical number for any family to find at the time, especially families that came from the South Side. My mom at the time was making about $300 a week.
And it's a single. She's a single mom.
Single mom,
correct?
broken
Okay.
family. She's making about $300 a week. So she got to come up with $5,000 to bury my brother. So $5,000 was equivalent to her working about 5 months without paying any bills. So realistically, for her to come up with that $5,000 just to bury him, she would have to take at least a year and a half to try to pay that off. You're trying to go to the banks and the credit union at the time for at least trying to get a loan, you know what I mean? To try to come up with that money, and if you don't have any type of collateral or any of that stuff, you're not getting any loans.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at this point now, we're relying on family members from abroad to have to step in and come up with that money. So that's exactly what happened. Again, my brother's dad, he's been living in LA since the '70s, so he came home and helped us out with the costs and all that stuff and trying to get it buried. At the day of his funeral, man, I'm talking about it was like a gang funeral. I was shocked. So all the gang members, all the Crips at the time, from like Majestic Alley and By Law at the time, I know they call it Silk Ghost down now, and Quad Road. They all went to his funeral, and I can remember that they trying to like take over the funeral, man.
Yeah.
The dudes they pulled out a red rag and burned a rag at his funeral, and my brother's dad trying to fight Judah Balls at the funeral because it was so disrespectful for them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like these guys don't even understand like what's going on, you know what I mean? There was no disrespect to those guys, but it was just the family that we have, this is the first that the family, is experiencing like that. And yeah, man, it was a big hoopla at the time. And then after the funeral, man, I remember my mom went home and she cried. She probably cried for like 24 hours straight. She put up a bunch of like crosses and garlic, and I'm like I didn't even understand what's going on. For me personally, what got me, I was 11 years old. So 11 years old, I remember, because we had a bunk bed. Me and my brother shared a bunk bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed up top, and he stayed at the bottom. And I remember being so scared to be in that room. I remember being so scared.
And not only that, it's being there without him. It's every day you walk in there,
oh my
you're
God,
just...
it was horrifying just to
Right.
being in that room. I didn't even want to live anymore myself,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because this is all I got. So I remember my cousins and them was like, you got to ride for your brother. You know what I'm saying? 11 years old now.
What does that mean?
I mean, you got to retaliate. I remember being 11 years old. They telling me, so this is a recruitment. Now I'm being recruited. You know what I'm saying? So, at the funeral, I mean, I'm jumping ahead now. At the funeral, this one guy, this guy who's claimed to be a blood at the time, he rolled by the funeral and he was like, another Crip died or some craziness like that. And did you know, like a week later, that dude was dead. A week later. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so the situation didn't change for us. You know what I mean? The money situation got rough for the family. We already emotionally distraught, financially distressed. And now, mentally, we are told to pick up ourselves by our bootstrap and get back into society. But unfortunately for families who have to work and or come from a single family homes, it's not that simple.
Right.
Remember my mom at the time, she was working in a hospital as a nurse, and she had to go back and forth to court and all this stuff, and she getting those warnings like, yo, like you're missing too many days. If you miss more days from the job, you're about to get fired. While she's dealing with trying to get justice for her son. This is where the real fun starts. Now you're dealing with the state, the law, prosecution. Come to find out, the police did a piss poor job in collecting evidence. They did make an arrest months later, but because of the circumstances of how that case went down,
nothing came
out of that. To even get a lawyer to try to pursue something else personally from that, the lawyer charge of fees at the time was also $5,000. We couldn't even find the $5,000 to bury him in the first place, so we were gonna find another $5,000 for a lawyer to do anything with. You know what I'm saying? Then, again, 11 years old, I am told to go back to school. Go back to school and try to function. Try to function like everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I'm still in that same environment. Dealing with the same things. The situation around you doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
The people around you doesn't go away. And you're watching the situation deteriorate around you even worse every single day. You know, I thought growing up that, okay, well, revenge would solve my problem. So I tried to grab on to the revenge piece. You know, I felt like this was going to bring closure and, you know, it's going to make me feel better. And eventually, you know, some years went by. The person that allegedly did the murder, he had his fate as well. And I can remember, like, when I got that news, it didn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I felt even worse. I felt worse because I actually believed that revenge was going to somehow fill this void that I have inside of me and not able to really function and think for myself being that young. This is what people are telling you is the thing that's going to, you know what I mean, fill that void. And I'm here to tell you, like, that void is never felt. It's been, for me, it's over 25 years now. And I still think about that day every single day. I tell myself all the time, I wish I had the ability to reverse that. We'll give up anything to reverse that. I have a son now, and my son don't even know who my brother is, you know what I mean? So this is forever scar me until I'm gone off this earth as well.